ChatGPT said. It was 3:17 a.m. when she slipped in. Sure, I was asleep. I lay motionless, my back turned, breathing deliberately slow and steady. The bedroom door sighed on its hinges, then the thud of soft footsteps on carpet. I heard the careful slide of heels being removed, deliberate, furtive, like a kid sneaking home after curfew, and a strange perfume trailed her, a scent I'd never worn. She moved with the furtiveness of someone who believed darkness could mask the stains she carried. But I hadn't been sleeping. Not for a long while. Every odd shift in her routine, every last-minute meeting, every vague excuse had accumulated into an unshakable conviction. She eased down beside me, her weight making the mattress indent, and exhaled in a way that suggested exhaustion wrapped in satisfaction. That was the moment everything clarified for me. It wasn't only that she'd lied, it was that she felt no remorse. She assumed my silence meant ignorance and that her stories could be rewoven indefinitely. She didn't know I already knew. There were bank statements littered with charges at places she denied ever visiting. A hidden second phone. A hotel reservation under a false name, a name she'd once used when we were still courting. That was the cut that stung the worst. The same little charms and idiosyncrasies she once employed to enchant me were now the tools of deception. I didn't explode that night. I didn't demand an explanation. Instead, I stayed quiet, because sometimes silence is sharper than any raised voice. While she was away at what she claimed was a last-minute networking dinner, I made my move. I emptied my side of the closet. Shirts, shoes, even the wedding photograph she'd insisted remain central went into boxes. My side of the bed was bare. Drawers were emptied. The safe was vacated. I removed my name from the lease. I canceled the shared bills and even the streaming accounts. Then I left an envelope on her pillow, placed where she would reach for it before kissing me goodnight. Inside were divorce papers, signed and dated, and a single line written in heavy black ink. I hope he was worth it. I didn't stay to watch her find it. I parked a block away and watched through the blinds. Minutes later, the bedroom light flipped on. The curtains were never fully drawn, and I saw her freeze beside the bed. I pictured her hand hovering over the envelope, shoulder tightening, breath stumbling. I didn't need to see her face. I'd already rehearsed that moment 100 times. The shock, the dawning realization that I wasn't the oblivious husband she'd counted on. Her calls began before dawn, 30 of them. The voicemail messages sounded identical, panic laced with disbelief. The voice that had once felt like home now raw with desperation. I didn't return a single one. I refused to give her the solace of confrontation. I had invested too much of myself in someone who drained me every night. I checked into a small guest house at the edge of town. The proprietor handed me the keys with a kind, uncurious smile. On the first morning there, I woke without the constant pressure of suspicion. I made coffee, sat by the window, and watched the sun pull itself over a world where I was no longer tethered to her fabrications. Freedom arrived with its own sorrow. Leaving isn't tidy. That night, I let myself feel everything. I cried. I stuffed my face into a pillow and screamed. I grieved not only the marriage, but the man who had remained too long. Yet beneath the pain was something steadier. I had chosen truth, and that choice justified the mourning. 2 weeks went by without a word from me. Friends began to call, unsure what had happened. My aunt was predictably the same. Ask her, she said. News spread quickly. She never admitted the betrayal, but she made certain everyone knew how abruptly I had left, how distant I'd become, as if she had expected me to swallow her lies night after night. Then one morning I opened the cabin door, and there she stood. No makeup, hair tied back, eyes swollen from sleepless nights. She looked at me like someone seeing a person from another life, bewildered, aching, clutching for what was familiar. Please, she murmured. Can we talk? I stepped aside, not out of pity, but because I wanted closure. She entered slowly, her gaze skimming the stripped wooden walls. We sat opposite each other. She began to explain. It hadn't been planned, she said. Something was missing inside her. The other man made her feel alive in ways she believed I never could. Her voice broke. Tears filled her eyes. I listened without interruption. Finally, I spoke the 7 words I had practiced since that night. You lost me the moment you lied. Silence fell. She reached for my hand the way she used to reach for forgiveness, but I didn't take it. I let her fingers hover in the empty space between us, a careful mimicry of all the promises she had left unkept. Then I stood, walked to the doorway, and held it open. Goodbye, I said. She did not beg. She stepped out into the cold morning air, and for the first time she began to understand what it meant to have nothing left to hold on to.